Hey, what's up? Unreal Engine 5 has been dominating the scene for a while now, but every day we see fresh new projects popping up that look absolutely insane. Today, I'm going to show you a bunch of these awesome upcoming titles that already look seriously impressive. Let's start with Jurassic Park Survival, a new project that promises to drop you right into a pack of dinosaurs on Isla Nublar right after the events of the iconic 1993 film. You play as Dr. Maya Joshi. She reminds me of someone, so keep your hands on the table. She's a scientist from InGen who, unfortunately, got left behind on the island after the evacuation. Your goal is not just to survive among a bunch of predatory creatures, but also to uncover the mysteries of the famous park. The Unreal Engine 5 graphics are stunningly realistic, from detailed, eerie nightscapes to the animated dinosaurs that behave terrifyingly lifelike. Gameplay mechanics focus on survival, stealth, and some interactive puzzles. You'll need to use every available resource and a bit of skill to avoid encounters with the T-Rex and other toothy beasts. A new survival horror game that's already causing a stir with its hyper-realistic graphics and atmosphere. The game, you guessed it, is on Unreal Engine 5, and it promises to be one of the scariest games of the year. The trailer, which is just a minute long, shows scenes from an abandoned Japanese hospital where the main character, armed with a gun, explores dark corridors and rooms, facing unknown horrors. The graphics are so realistic that it feels like you're watching live video, not playing a game. Unlike many other projects, everything here is handcrafted, without photogrammetry, giving the game a unique style and atmosphere. The game promises tense moments, like when the lights go out and you hear strange noises around you and everything else. Details are scarce for now, but it's supposed to come out at the end of this year and seems set to set new standards in the horror genre. Project Tenet of the Spark is a linear third-person action game with stealth elements and a fun storyline. The main character is a promising boxer whose career is at risk after an injury. However, he gains super mega powers from his ancestors, allowing him not only to recover, but also to gain new strength. We'll need to learn how to control this gift and deal with unresolved issues passed down through generations. And here's the main feature. The game allows you to switch between the hero's ancestors, unlocking new characters, game worlds, and unique gameplay mechanics for each of them. This way, each new ancestor brings fresh experiences and gameplay possibilities, enriching the gaming experience, so to speak, and deepening the character's story. It looks really promising, and for some reason, it reminds me of Miles Morales from Spider-Man in the animated movie. Well, stylistically, maybe a bit. A new co-op looter shooter with horror elements from a third-person perspective that will make you realize how underrated warm and cozy evenings by the fireplace were. In this game from Fog Studios, you'll take on the role of a survivor in a world where combat machines, basically Terminators, and warring factions are trying to kill you faster than you can say hello to them. The story revolves around your team, which is forced to scavenge through the ruins of civilization for resources, while avoiding giant robots and those crazy marauders. The game's graphics are insanely cool. They give every bloodthirsty robot an almost terrifying realism. The game world is a dump where ecology and technology have finally come together to create a local hell on Earth. The enemies are pretty smart, or at least they're supposed to be, acting according to their own scripts, making each encounter with them unique and likely deadly. Overall, it's expected to be real fun. So this is the sequel to the cult horror game that will plunge you back into the Lovecraftian atmosphere of madness, but this time on a new level of insanity with another bunch of eldritch creatures. Here, you get a choice. Want to be Sherlock? Go for it. Want to just swing fists and shotguns? That works too. The detective elements are now optional, so no need to strain your brain if puzzles aren't your thing. The new madness system and a bunch of bosses are also present, so it should still be scary. And forget the old graphics. Now everything is so realistic that you can see every nasty tooth on the next monster. The game is set to release in 2025 on all platforms, so get your wallets ready. Not to buy it, just get them ready, because the first game was, to put it mildly, not great. An extremely unusual mix of a construction simulator and an open-world adventure game that's also alive. Imagine building your tribe's village while simultaneously reviving dead ecosystems on the mysterious island of Aghasba. The game lets you not only construct buildings, but also take care of wildlife, creating unique and vibrant landscapes. So yeah, it's like The Sims on steroids with elements of Avatar and Zelda, probably. The gameplay will focus on balancing construction and greening. You can customize buildings, build roads, and watch your village come to life. And if you feel like showing off your achievements, you can invite friends to your island or visit theirs to steal a couple of ideas. The game supports co-op, so you can grow your cyber gardens together. It's expected to release at the end of 2024, but it's already generating a lot of buzz thanks to its unique style. A wild mix of medieval strategy and third-person shooter. In this game, you're a soldier from a dying future, sent 500 years back to medieval England to change the course of a war and prevent the apocalypse. Yeah, you heard that right. Modern weapons, including rifles, rocket launchers, and even helicopters against knights and archers. The gameplay is a unique blend of strategic elements and dynamic combat. You can command your army, issuing orders from a strategic view, and then personally dive into battles in third-person mode. Realistic battle simulations with thousands of soldiers, advanced AI, and procedural animation promise epic battles that look almost real. And if you don't want to fight alone, the game supports co-op for up to 3 players, each commanding their own army. The game's set to release this year, so get ready for historically inaccurate but incredibly entertaining battles. Project LLL is a new MMO shooter from NCSoft that blows your mind with its crazy setting and scale. Built on Unreal Engine 5, it promises to be the most ambitious game of the year. Just imagine, a ruined Seoul, the Byzantine Empire of the 10th century, and 20th century technology, all in one package. It's like the devs were on some kind of high when they made this. They must have thought, let's cram all the cool ideas into one game, and then announced it. That's probably how it went down. The gameplay features epic battles in a massive dynamic environment where you can drive cars, fly helicopters, and shoot up enemies with a ton of different guns. The animation and physics are detailed to the max, so every hit and shot feels real. The devs even suggested grabbing some diapers before playing because the realism might make you lose it. Plus, there's a PvE campaign and PvP battles, so you definitely won't get bored. A new adrenaline-pumping third-person shooter set in a cyberpunk world. People are born with a demon core, some kind of crystal thing that gives them badass abilities. Imagine racing through the streets of a megacity, smashing enemy skulls, and tearing everything apart in the style of Ninja Gaiden or Metal Gear Rising. Get ready for some serious carnage. You play as a demon hunter and a member of Ronin Industries, an organization that gathers the most powerful owners of these demon cores. Your character can move faster than lightning and has insane strength, allowing you to wreak havoc. Expect spectacular battles, some parkour with wall running, and neon effects that'll make your eyes pop from excitement, of course. Another third-person action game, but this one has stealth elements. Imagine a mix of Splinter Cell and Squid Game. Sounds weird? You'll get it soon. The game is set in the near future on the Korean peninsula, where the North and South are on the brink of unification, suddenly. You play as a North Korean soldier, Ji-jong-T, who ends up in South Korea through an exchange program and gets caught up in terrorist attacks and political intrigues. Oh, and the villain in the game is played by Ho Sung-tae from Squid Game, so now you know why. The devs promise stunning graphics that will pull you out of reality. They're using Unreal Engine 5 and a cool 3D scanning system to make your characters look lifelike. There will be 3 playable characters, each with their own skills and playstyle. The gameplay involves stealth, melee combat, and shooting, so you'll need to think about how to complete missions without catching a bullet to the head. If you like games where you need to use your brain as much as your sword, this one's probably worth your attention. And here's the sequel to Tormented Souls, now with a 2 in the title. You're back in the shoes of Caroline Walker, and this time, she's exploring creepy monasteries and dark churches to save her sister Anna from some weird curse. Yeah, it's the same old stuff from the first game, just with a side of new nightmares. The gameplay promises to be just as hardcore as the first one. Use makeshift weapons and light to fend off nasty creatures. Puzzles, fixed camera angles, and an atmosphere that'll make your hair stand on end, it's all here, bringing you back to the golden age of survival horror. If you liked the old Resident Evil or Alone in the Dark games, this one's definitely for you. Get ready for the craziest dino drift safari of your life. Here's a new shooter where you play as Sheriff Sam Judge, who just wanted to keep the peace in his small Montana town. But nope, that's not happening. Bandits take hostages, and then things get completely nuts. Sam ends up in another world full of prehistoric creatures. And yes, you'll be chasing down a T-Rex with a shotgun or minigun. The gameplay is a wild mix of Turok and Doom, fast-paced, chaotic combat, tons of blood, and mountains of ammo. There are classic dinos like raptors and T-Rexes, plus some mutated hybrids that You can't even figure out what they are. On top of that, Sam gains superpowers. So now he's not just trying to survive, but he's also kicking dino butt left and right. It's some kind of crazy, but it looks like fun for shooting things up. Well, that's all for today. Hope you found something interesting.